We let go of another family member this week, Earl Finch. Made his transition on Wednesday. And he went pretty quickly. I went to the hospital twice this week. Lisa he'd been texting Lisa. Lisa Demers was the first person who ever greeted him here. She and Alan were greeting. And a few years ago, she met him at the front door, and he said, "Oh, I know Unity. He'd been here." Turns out he knew Gigi 3 years ago through Reiki. And Earl kept himself right there in that end seat where his nephew Kip is sitting today. And then Earl did our video on Steve's day off. Now, I've heard some things about Earl this week that I really liked. I didn't know Earl overly well because, like I said, he kept to himself. Although if you got him chatting, he could go on. We had lunch last year, and I heard a lot of things I didn't necessarily hold on to. And then I've spoken to a few people, and and Kip I keep wanting to say that he wrestled alligators, but he didn't. He raised alligators. It's very different. But that was my favorite thing I've heard about him, that he raised alligators. Wow. Not recently, but he did that. But he had a farm up in Bethel, and he sought to do that. He had 5 dogs that he let go of about 3 weeks ago to give them to homes that could take care of them because he couldn't take care of them anymore. He called me last Friday, and we chatted about stuff. And he told me that he had let go of the dogs and that he was in the hospital. And I was all set to go on Monday, and Sunday night they had to intubate him. His lungs gave out, and he was no longer eligible for a transplant. And so Monday and Tuesday I went to the hospital, and I met the family, who I liked a lot, his sisters and his nephew, and he opened his eyes for Kip on Tuesday. And ever so briefly, for a brief half a second, he opened them on Tuesday afternoon when I went in. I don't know that it was for me, but I was glad to get to see that as I held his hand and patted his head and prayed. And we released him, and then his family let him go on Wednesday. And today's talk is, I'll give you peace. I will give you peace. And that's what we're offering to our friends who are leaving the planet. They're going from here to here. They're going from the visible to the invisible. Our friends, we let Ray go 2 weeks ago. And we let Kit go. Not Kit, I'm sorry.
Still here.
Yeah. Whoosh! I don't want to do another one of these. Earl asked that there be no funeral. He asked that there be no memorial service. But when I told the family that I would honor him in our Sunday service, they were glad. They were very glad. And Maggie, his sister, may very well be watching. I don't know how many others of your family are watching today. But we're grateful for the Finch family because Earl made such a difference in our community. In his own quiet way, he was a wonderful presence here. And I looked forward to seeing it. It was either 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. He was right on camera. Yeah. He had his oxygen tank he brought with him. And he was right back there where Steve is now. But peace, I give you peace. And it's a Sandy Patty song. It's a wonderful song that Kenneth is going to sing a little bit. Now, life takes care of us in many ways, and I don't understand all of them. But I found this, and I liked it. So listen to me here. Miss me, but let me go. When I come to the end of the road, and the sun has set for me, I want no rights in a gloom-filled room. Why cry for a soul set free? Miss me a little, but not too long, and not with your head bowed low. Remember the love that we once shared. Miss me, but let me go. For this is a journey that we all must take, and each must go alone. It's all a part of the Master's plan, a step on the road to home. When you are lonely and sick of heart, go to the friends we know, and bury your sorrows in doing good deeds. Miss me, but let me go. Author unknown. But that touched me a lot to read that, and it makes sense because we celebrate life. We don't pity life. We don't resent it. We can't because we don't understand it. We just don't understand it. And so many seem to be leaving the planet right now. It's the end of the year, and that often happens that way. Yesterday, I found out two good friends of mine, Phyllis Raskin and John Anderson, husband and wife, left within 3 weeks of each other in October. I've known them for many, many, many years, and they were both 80, and I did not know of their transition. Dawn, who works at the diner up the street here, her partner left us, Charles Stewart, left us a month or so ago. But we want to honor life here. We want to honor what we give each other and what has been given to us through each other. Peace is what we want to experience through this. Peace I give you. Peace I give you. Now, here's a way that I felt very taken care of. Yesterday, Kenneth could not find the music to this song. It was nowhere to be found. Not here, not there. You can't buy it online anymore. And I thought, what do we do? I called a friend of mine who might have it. He didn't. And I thought, well, what the heck? I have Sandy Patty's phone number or email. Let me write to Sandy Patty. Because what I have learned is if you don't ask, they don't know you need it. So in Oklahoma, I wrote to Sandy. She was in Oklahoma. And I said, Sandy, I know it's last minute and stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm not best pals with Sandy Patty. We're acquaintances. She's sang a song of David's, and we've met.
I'm best pals.
Yes, David is best friends. Lovely photo of the three of us on Facebook somewhere. It must be because she said, give my love to David. I can only assume that means that they are best pals. Anyway. But she wrote back right away and said, I don't have it. And I can't get the masters to them anymore, and I'm sorry. And at midnight, she sent me an email. She had done a show last night at her church, and a woman came with that songbook to be autographed. So she took photos of the pages of music and sent it. And at 6 a.m. when I woke up, so we printed them out, and Kenneth's going to sing that in a moment. Now, I want to ask you who you're willing to give peace to. Take a breath. Who are you willing to let experience peace as they move along in their journey? We let Earl move along his journey in peace. He seemed very resigned when I spoke to him last week. He was resigned in his conversations with Lisa. We send Ray on in his journey. We send him on in peace. We send Phyllis and John, my friends, on in peace. We send Charles, Dawn's husband, on in peace. Who will you send on in peace? Who has moved from the visible to the invisible this year for you? Who that you might want to pick up the phone and call, but you're willing to let them move on in peace in the invisible realm? Peace assured, love assured, joy assured, wisdom assured, knowledge assured, presence assured. We have no cause to fear the next moment because the present moment is good. This present moment includes all of my good. This present moment includes all of my neighbor's good. There is no absence of good in the next moment except my perception of it. But knowing now there is no absence of good, there is only presence. I can start my journey back here to this place, in this body, at this time, in this sanctuary called unity. And as we come back, let us come back refreshed, renewed, fully aware of the good that has just taken place, that we may say thank you and amen. So, has anyone thrown a temper tantrum lately? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does and it doesn't. You know, it's do you know why you throw a temper tantrum? Because things aren't going the way you think they should. And when we're throwing a temper tantrum, rarely does it occur to me that they are going as they ought to go. I just don't like it. And those of you who haven't thrown a temper tantrum lately, have you been upset on the highway? Maybe you have thrown your temper tantrum. Have you witnessed an absence of peace in your mind, in your body, in your home?
Yeah.
Yeah. On the highway, at the mall, at a restaurant, in your relationships. The absence of peace is the resistance to our good. It's the insistence, my good is somehow not here. And the reason we keep coming back here is to keep looking, but my good has to be here. I am assured of my good. I have been promised that my good is here and present now. So what's up? If it's not possible that it's absent, then it must be me thinking it's absent. Does that make sense? But I don't care for that diagnosis. But it has to be. It's the only explainable thing. Is I hurt, therefore my good is not here. Well, I'm in a body. Of course I hurt. I feel things. I have sensations. I have them. And now a lot of them are based on misperceptions. You know, I experience emotional pain. Letting him go to the invisible, letting Ray go, letting so many others go. I feel shock to my system when I have let go of family members from the physical. I've never let them go, but I've let them go from the physical. And I have, with my mother, I experienced great peace. Phenomenal peace. When my mother made her transition. And I cried and cried and cried. And I laughed as something was funny. I was as present as I could be that week. It was amazing to me. For months, I was, and then I'd throw a temper tantrum some days. Because I just didn't know what to do with all the sensations in my body. Anybody here ever released a substance of some sort? Be it alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, arguing, complaining, what have you, cake, sugar. And it's like, oh, it's horrible. It is just horrible. I have one friend who's throwing a lot of temper tantrums right now because somebody he loves has made his transition. And it's like, I don't know what to do with this. And it's like, well, call somebody. Talk about it. Those are your tools. Talk about it. Don't isolate. Don't stay over here thinking the absence of peace is the only thing alternative. Because I can't have it the way I wanted it. Not we've all, but many of us have released pets. And it's agonizing. Even though we knew when we got them, this was not going to last forever. When we let our 19-year-old kitty go a couple of years ago, and I came into the relationship, I inherited this kitty in the relationship. And she wasn't wild about me when I met her, and I wasn't so wild about her. Because she was fussy. And I didn't know what to do with a cat. I know about dogs, but I didn't know anything about a cat. And I remember I was brushing her one night, because you brushed Mercer, and then she got her cookies. It was the only way, she was an addict. Thank you, David. And so I brush her, she goes to bite me. And I snapped and I like hit her with the brush, which is an awful thing to do. I didn't beat her with the brush. Let's be very clear here. And he said, "Don't hit my cat." And I thought, he's right. You know, that's not a big request. A relationship not to hit somebody's animal. But then, so the next night happens again. Well, I called her a name. I'm not going to call it here, but I called her a name. There's no reason to repeat that. And he said, "Don't call my cat a name." And I thought, doggone it, that's still a reasonable request. Well, so what I said was, "Show me how to do this, because she doesn't bite you when you do it." He said, she has to know you're in charge. And I watched how he put his hand on her, and he brushed her. And she and I got along after that. Every now and then she would decide to snap, and I would put the brush away and walk away. She didn't get her cookies. 10 minutes later, she's back in the bed waiting, and then she'd let you brush her. But there was no more arguments. There was, this is what you have to do if you want your cookies. and so I learned about her. So by the time she left, I was devastated. Oh my gosh, I love this. I had no idea that I never thought of our house, that I didn't think of Mercer. Because I always knew she's in there. It's the same way I think now of her. We have 3 kitties. But when we got these new ones, and they're pretty young, but I know in my head one day I'm probably going to let them go. I'm likely to outlast them. And yet you think, oh. And when it happens, it hurts your feelings. It really hurts your feelings. But so with Mercer, we took her to the vet and we let her go. They gave her a shot and we stayed there with her. And then we got another kitten that we had to let go of. She died in a month. That was a happy day. But we loved her. For 4 weeks, we loved this kitten. And this kitten's death brought us Gabriel, who, mighty cat. Gabriel, and then from Gabriel we got his sister Gwendolyn was given to us, and then their brother Cooper was given to us, so now we got 3 big bushy cats. If you want to see what they look like, look at my Facebook page. But we know every day is a precious day with them, probably more than we know is a precious day with each other. They mirror it more than we as people do. But to be at peace that life is going to happen. Life on life's terms is going to happen. And some days are easy. Oh, they're just so wonderfully easy, aren't they? And other days are really hard. But you see, where the appearance of the absence of peace comes in is when I call it bad. When I call it a bad day. There's no peace in bad. I can have complete peace when it's a hard day. And I can have complete peace when it's an easy day. But the good days and the bad days, those rattle me. Because I don't know what to do with them, because I've just limited myself. Oh, it's a good day. Why is it good? Because I liked it. That's why it's a good day. But that doesn't, all days are good. If God is good and I'm good in it, all days are good. I just don't like every day. I have preferences. And so I encourage each and every one of us here to never again say that you had a bad day or that this is a bad event. I really, really encourage you to remove the word bad from your vocabulary. It's not serving you. It doesn't serve your neighbor. It doesn't serve your household. It doesn't serve your body. It doesn't serve your money. It doesn't serve your spirit to ever declare that a thing is bad. I get it. We don't like stuff. But in this Advent time of peace, because remember, what we're looking to do is make way for the Christ awakening in our mind, or reawakening is really what it is. It's not about making way for a person to come back. It's about a reawakening, because I'm assuming that at one point I was fully awakened. I don't know when that was, and I don't know if it was in this body. But it is a reawakening. I am convinced that at some point I knew who I was, and then at a certain point I forgot. Because I got sensations. Kind of the Adam and Eve story. When they became aware of flesh is when suddenly everything went south. That is a parable. That is allegory. Did not happen in history. Nobody was writing down. Today I needed a fig leaf because I was embarrassed. That nobody wrote that down back then. That's an allegory to talk about our humanity. I'm going to read something here. Comes from the Holy Spirit's interpretation of the New Testament. 1 Thessalonians, chapter 2. And it says here, your viewpoint is everything. The way you look at the world determines the world that you see. Therefore, it is time for you to look carefully at the way you look at the world. It is time to realize that you are the maker of all that you see. And that doesn't mean you create events. It means you create the meaning of the events for you. Each and every one of us here creates what meaning this has. There is no definitive meaning to any single event. I decide for me. You decide for you. Cut it out. Peace is the guiding light that you must follow. As you learn to look within the mind, for it is peace that leads you to recognition of truth. And it is lack of peace that reminds you that you are not following your way. Peace is your guide, because in peace you accept the power of God as it is, and you enjoy its flow. Peace is gentle gratitude. Peace is love for all that is. Listen within for the gentle guidance of peace. It is quiet but easy to hear. It leads you in ease, acceptance, and trust. When fear intrudes on peace, you will hear it as if you are listening. There will seem to be a slight upset, a stab thrust upon your heart. Peace. And an immediate desire to deny the thought or feeling that has intruded on your peace. So, I tell you, the desire to deny the intrusion is fear. It is fear that you are somehow bad, and that you must hide so you are not found out and somehow punished. Peace. Your viewpoint. You deciding whether or not you can be at peace through this. It's not you deciding, I should like this. It's about peace. It's about trust that there is good here that I perhaps do not yet know about. So one last thing. It's about becoming a peacemaker. Now, what I've seen in the world right now, those who are professional peacemakers, I don't know that they really want peace. Because if they got, the ones I've met, if they really got peace, they'd be out of a job. So it seems like they're always looking for unrest. It seems like they're always looking for a problem. What if peace could start with you and all of us were at peace? What if? And then I don't have to look to you. She's at peace now. I got to work on him, and then I don't even know you, but let's work on it right now, and let's work on you and you and you. So, metaphysical meaning of peacemaker: one who has the ability to say peace to the turbulent waves of thought and have them obey. A peacemaker is one who reduces to peace and harmony all the thoughts of strife, anger, and retaliation in his or her own mind. The ability to say peace to thoughts and have them obey. It entitles all of us to the thoughts of the Most High. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. So, the advice from this author is, do you need help of any kind? Then take time today to turn to the great helper, to acknowledge God. Your life may seem hurried and filled with problems, but God, who answers the prayers of our hearts and gives us all things, gives us time to turn. Plenty of time, so accept it. Take time when your problems beset you or when you first wake in the morning. Say to yourself something like this. Now, first, what I'm going to tell you is it's not turning to God the person to fix it. It's not asking God to fix this. What you're asking yourself to do by turning to God is to accept God as the source of your good. To accept peace, joy, and love, and presence, and power, and knowledge as a part of your being. To accept that all that God is you. It is your highest. You already have it. That's what it means to reach out to God. It's not asking God to hurl something back at you because you think you need it. It's to accept God, what we call God, as our source and our supply. So we can talk to God, we can personify God, but it's still based in my mind. So you see, if I'm telling God I have an absence of something, all that I get back is the absence of something. Because God's nature is yes. There is no good here. Yes, there's no good here. Oh, I'm sick. Yes, you're sick. Oh, there is lack here. Yes, there is lack here. But that's the abundance, and that's the love. It's not, oh, honey, let me fix this for you. God does not do that. Oh, honey, let me give you some cash. Oh, dear, I know you don't have the consciousness for it, but I'll make everybody be nice to you. That does not have, I don't know that God. And believe me, I tried to find that God many times over the years. I tried to get a God who would give me things, even though I had no consciousness to experience them. And I tried to do it the new way, the new thought way. I would do my affirmations. I affirm I win this $95 million today in the lottery. I remember years ago, before I ever came to Unity, I'd been reading him at Fox, affirm. I was on my knees, affirming, and I was genuinely surprised when I did not win that night. I thought, I did the job, I did the work, what's going on here? It tells me I did it with a thought that I do not have $95 million. My underlying thought was, I don't have enough. So we got to look at that, get on board with the source and try to say, wait a minute, there is good here which I'm not aware of yet. There is good here I'm willing to become aware of, but I need help in seeing it. I need a divine idea. I am willing to have a divine idea that shows me or reveals to me my good. You see, I don't need cash to be at peace. And I don't need you to be nice to me to be at peace. And I don't need the weather to be different to be at peace. I need to know that peace is. Peace is in me. It's in my cells now. But the advice from this is, today I will rely on God. So what does that mean? Well, if you break it down to good, orderly direction. Today I will rely on good, orderly direction, knowing that one foot in front of the other will continue to reveal to me my current good on my way to my next good. What if you started thinking of it that way? Today I will take time to rely on God. Today I will put God first and other things after that. Today I will be true to my thought of good, orderly direction. Today I will try to think God's thoughts. Today I will try to remember that good, orderly direction is in charge and that I have nothing to fear. Today I will take time to feel at peace, knowing that everything is in God's hands. Today I will be cheerful. I will be good-tempered and patient with others. I will be kind. Today I will forget my grudges. How about that? We all remember them all right now. Today I will forget my grudges. I will let go of my doubts and fears. I will discount my problems and hardships. I will count my blessings, however small they seem. I will be on the lookout for, where is it? I will be on the lookout for every smallest thing that can be called a blessing. A glass of water to drink, a meal, a glimpse of beautiful green, of a breeze. Well, I will be on the lookout for the goodwill of a friend. The clothes I wear, a chair, a book, a bed, the very floor I walk upon, the very sky I see, the very new thought that I've had during this time at Unity. I will bless all of those new thoughts, all of those reassurances. It's a wonderful song about peace. You may have heard of it. It's called Let There Be Peace on Earth. And let it begin with who?
Me.
Would you be the co-source of peace with God? Would you be the co-source, knowing it's not about changing our neighbor in order to be the co-source? It's about admitting my peace. It's about making way to experience my peace. It's about letting everybody have their journey. At the same time, being available if someone would like guidance or a shift in their journey and they just can't seem to find the way. Would you be the shining light of a prosperous, abundant journey that is confident in your source? Charles Fillmore, Unity's co-founder, said the words should actually be in earth, that the body is earth. Metaphysically, the body is the earth. Let there be peace in earth, and let it begin with me, so that I can be at peace and I don't have to wait for any of you to change your thoughts. I don't have to wait for any of you to change your mind about life. I can be at peace. Oh, my friend Earl is taking a journey that I wouldn't have chosen it for him, while Ray takes his journey that I wouldn't choose for him. While so many that we have mentioned today take their journey that we wouldn't choose for them. With my mother, I knew immediately, I wish I could call her on the phone, but I wouldn't bring her back. That was her journey. And I bless it, and I'm grateful. And I believe as a child, I never would have thought I'd say I'm grateful for my journey with my mother. But I'm who I am. And if it had been one bit different, I wouldn't be this person with its challenges, with its confusions. But as Kenneth sings this song and then leads us in it, I really invite you to listen to the words and see if you'd like them to apply to you. Happy third Sunday of Advent, everybody.